Yes.
And
away.
who are we waiting for? It's like
Um,
there's,
David, Mandy, who else?
don't have
David?
anybody from
Alden?
South America.
Tarek, Muhammad Tarek,
Yeah.
Warren,
Adrian.
Adrian.
So there's a few missing. Hey, Jason. Hey, Gabati. Hi, Henrik.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Hendrik. Kumbati.
Hi.
Hi, Jason.
Morning, everyone.
Nice to
Good
see you.
Morning,
evening.
Jared.
Yes.
So I guess this is your morning. And this is midnight for Sean, and this is my night time. I'm a bit
Yeah.
exhausted, so I give myself permission to lay down here. Try to catch up with you.
Well, Marzuki, you put out proposals. Let's start with some of your proposals. See how everybody.
I
What
just
everybody
have day
thinks.
3 of AP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought all the proposals were apropos and would be very helpful, creating more stability in what we're doing with the community meetings and presentations.
Yeah. Basically, the proposal came about thinking of how to make it easier for the users, the participants. We have made the decisions about what meetings to have and all that. However, it is not transparent to them. So that's why the first proposal is to have it regularly, let's say the second week of the month, to be the default. In case there are times that we cannot have the second week, then we can tell them this is an exemption. However, the default will be the second week. In that way, they have in their mind, okay, the second week of the month will have our session.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. The second one is I use the term meeting differentiation, that we've been using ISNS online meeting, and sometimes we use it for both. So to get them to be to realize that, okay, these are two different types of meetings with two different purposes. So I didn't want to scratch my head about what names to give. However, I found in Michael's email that he used the two names. So I said, why don't we just adopt those two names for the sessions that Mariani is currently hosting? We'll call that the neurosemantic presentations, because it is about presentation from Michael. Then the other one is community networking, because it is more of getting people to meet up, to discuss, so to have that differentiation. And if we were to consistently use those names when we invite, then I would say after about 2 or 3 invitations, they will get the hang of it. They'll begin to notice two different meetings. The other one is for registration. We currently have 2 different types of registration. My suggestion is that to have only on one type, so that they can anticipate on how they can get in. Otherwise, for one, they have to connect with the regional, with the National Institute. For the other one, they sign up with the login straight away. So to have one way of registering. And my idea is to have them pre-register, so that we, the gatekeepers, don't have this issue of okay, so which country is that person coming up? Because for the last couple of times I've got that iPhone 6, so should I admit or not? Because the thing about it is that you can only change your name after you click the login. You cannot change your name before you click login. So that's why for some people they don't notice it. So to have one type of login, pre-register, and what you can do, Tariq, you are the one who set the Zoom meeting. For you to set the meeting so that they can enter the meeting directly. Anybody who has the login link, they can log in immediately, and that also ties in with my number 4, which is about the notification and reminder. If we were to use a system whereby they pre-register, then we have the email addresses and we email directly to them the login. So we know that the people who receive the login details have pre-registered, so we don't have any worries about checking this person a bona fide attendee or not, because when they pre-register, they receive a personal email because the login details are only sent to people who pre-register. Yeah, and I gave the example of Eventbrite. I don't know if there are any other systems that I believe there are other systems that can do the same. However, when I set up for Eventbrite, I set up auto notification, email notification to those who register. And I typically set it up 2 days, 2 hours and 10 minutes. 10 minutes are for those who register last minute. So I'll have the 10 minutes for that. And it can work even when currently we have, I think currently we have 2 Zoom rooms or 3, I'm not sure. We have the Zoom, we have the English Zoom room. Then we have the Spanish. I wonder we have the Portuguese Zoom room as well. However, all that we need to do is to have the login detail for all the Zoom rooms and put it into the notification email. So they can click on whichever link that would be relevant for them. So those are the 4 items that I could think of to make it easier for people to, one is to be reminded, the other is to be able to access easily. Yeah. Okay.
Any discussion on that?
Yes, so yeah, after Mariani.
Okay. So for Marzuki, I agree, except 2 things. I thought I misunderstand about the number 3, but I will come to the number 1. I agree. And the number 2 about the name, I suggest that since our ISNS online session in which Michael already present time to time, this is the 7th one. The next one will be the 8th one. And we always use the same name, ISNS online session. So I suggest we still use the same name because it already like a signature on the flyer. Always ISNS online session, the name. So I will highly suggest to use the same name because the next one will be the 8th one, the number 8, the ISNS. And I also suggest for both of us, we can use ISNS in front, and then later on behind can be different. Why? Because this is show the community, international society. So we use ISNS in front, and then the first one is online session, like something we learn in the market. So this is for our community. But the second one, I don't know, but in Indonesia, we already established this is Michael online session, and this is ISNS community gathering. But it's still about the name, I insist the first one, the second one is up to you because I don't know, Tarek, when you have your reason about that, but I suggest it.
So the only problem I have with session is it's so vague.
So yeah.
Whereas presentation,
yeah,
you know that something is going to be presented.
About yeah, we can discuss about that after this. I think about the presentation, about how about the running operational, you said, Michael?
I think keep it short, simple, ISNS presentation.
Okay. ISNS presentation. And how about the second one? ISNS
Well,
gathering?
The second one has always been community meeting. And personally, I think it's pretty descriptive. I'm not sure if we need to change that, community meeting. Sometimes we use the word Zoom, but I prefer to keep it just community meeting.
Yeah. So if you use two words, then we can use two words, ISNS online session, because I don't know, what do you think? ISNS presentation, it means that you present.
Well, another suggestion is to use a tagline. So maybe keep the same name as it is. And under that, we have a description. So like ISNS a presentation or a description, so people know exactly what's happening. So maybe keep the same name and have a tagline describing exactly what's happening if you want to keep the same name.
My preference would be networking because that seems to be more descriptive of what actually occurs.
Okay. For ISNS online session, I always use the tagline. ISNS online session, 90 minutes with Michael Hall. I always put in that way. 90 minutes. So if not 90 minutes, they will protest. That's why I keep the time very clear. So that's the tagline. I don't know. Do you want to change that?
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I would like to say something. I think if we choose a name that refers to the purpose of what we're doing, it will be better. For example, for the second one, instead of community gathering, I would say something like community building, because that's the purpose, to build a community. And the first one perhaps will be something like ISNS presentation, but I don't know. I think we should add something to make people know that they're going to learn something, they're going to take something. I don't know exactly what name I would choose for the first one, but for the second one, I think it will be better, something like community building. I don't know. What do you think?
I have I think for the first one, again, just my thoughts. The first one, I like something around the topic of the month is a good idea, maybe. So people know that they're coming out and they're learning it. ISNS topic of the month is one idea I have. And then for the second one, I was just thinking collaborative networking, because it relates with the theme of collaboration and it's a value. When we're naming, I just did a recent experience where I was naming an event and I tried 3 different names over like a 4 or 5 month. And one of the names, people came out and it was a total same event, but just the name brought people out to the event to show up. And so really hitting a value that resonates with the people is going to be important in the naming, even if the event is exactly the same. So I called it, I called one of the events, it was a co-working session, a collaborative co-working, and no one came. And then I said, it's the productivity power hour. And everyone wanted to, they're like, hey, I love this new thing, sounds amazing. And it's the same thing I've been doing for 4 months. So the name is important in terms of bringing people out. Once they're there, they'll catch the vision and the values and hopefully keep coming back.
Yeah.
I love the name, collaborative networking.
Yeah, I think
my
it's good
other
too.
concern is also to keep it big enough so we can include other activities in the future. So I think, yeah, that can include other activities in the future if we decide to add other things or change the format a little bit.
Well, collaborative networking would certainly do that.
Yeah.
New stuff never before ever presented.
Yeah, yeah.
New stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I like
and-
something like Michael's latest musings of Michael's musings.
Well, I like what we did last weekend. It was not actually planned. So we discussed something that Michael wrote something about it, or there was a book or a training about it. And by doing that, we brought awareness to many people who didn't know that we had a book about that. And also they got some values. It was as if it's like a mini training where they were doing some practice, getting some value. And then many of them actually, they wrote back to me and asking, what's the name of the training? What's the name of the book? So I think that can be something useful that we can do every time. Now that we started having it seen, we're doing the presentation around.
Well, I voted yes for that name.
Yeah, I also vote yes for collaborative networking.
Yeah, I think it's a good name for the community one.
Yeah, actually, it's a good name.
Okay, so let's decide. The second one will be collaborative networking, or you like to have ISNS in front of them, or just collaborative?
Yeah,
Just collaborative
certainly
networking.
Why don't we have ISNS? It's part of the branding. We must, whatever we do, we start with
Yes.
ISNS.
Yes, I would say add it since we want to brand our brand. Yeah.
So what is
Say that again, Tarek. I didn't hear you.
So I would say yes, let's add it because we want to like spread our brand. So if the ads or the posters are going collaborative networking without the ISNS, people are not sure what's that exactly. But I want people to start asking what's ISNS, and those who belong to ISNS to see that I belong to that.
Okay.
Just not another Facebook group.
Exactly.
What about the first presentation? What will we call that? ISNS presentation? What are we wanting to call that first meeting?
So the usually is this, but you are it's open up to change. I always like this. And then the tagline is like this, but let's discuss what will be the new one. I always
So
like it.
when it comes to words that just, as Jason said, call people out, new, secrets, magic, power, are those kinds of words. So we could do ISNS, secret magic, new secret
Power.
magic stuff.
Yeah.
Michael's new stuff.
I was about to say, I was going to say that what usually brings me out to those sessions, me personally, is the learning and the dopamine effect I get from coming in. I'm like, wow. So
ISNS dopamine.
Dopamine boost.
something like that. So I know we can play around with the names, but I thought that's
It could be like a booster shot and a neurosemantics ISNS booster shot. Come on and stay immunized.
For thinking long term, if we have this running every 2 months for the next year after the pandemic, and Michael will fly over the world, around the world, make sure that Michael every 2 months will show up with the new book or new things. Because now he is locked down, so productive. He's writing about how to say lots of book, but we don't know after the pandemic open up. I mean, no more pandemic.
ISNS Michael's new stuff.
Michael's new stuff.
It will be ISNS wisdom presentation. Something like that.
no.
In Australia, we have limited vaccinated people. And so the government is now putting TV ads out, and because they know everybody drinks coffee and they're cafe people apparently. So they're saying, go and get your double shot of, and they're getting the bloke to walk out of the cafe with the 2 coffees, but they're referring to the COVID. So, ISNS double shot or something.
Double shot.
Have Michael sipping on his Starbucks.
All right.
How about tequila?
Okay.
It sounds it regard connecting with something learning. The main point is for learning, unlearn, relearn, recharge, refresh, reconnecting, whatever. All start with recharge, refresh, relearn, always new things, and maybe can refresh too. when Michael's already traveling around, can be refreshed also. So
Okay.
the goal is for refresh, recharge, and also to build the community sense of community, especially for people to get in touch with their institute. That's the point when we start it. 2 point, we cannot be that refresh, recharge, and then connecting with their institute, their local institute. So that's the reason behind when first initiated, because I observed that lots of them still don't know who are their institute, local institute, who to connect with. So hopefully by this event, they getting to know about institute, MCF chapter, and then they get connected with their local one and build a collaboration, at least connecting in each country before we connect with the. So that's the point. The first goal when we initiated on last year, and it seems now is only a few. I don't think that another email asking about who I will connect with. On the first one, the second one, there are lots of email directly to ask who I can connect with. But now I did not receive it. Did you receive the email about that, Jason? Because you are the one who sent the last email.
Which email was it?
They will email to you and say, I want to register. How can I register? Any
Yes.
email to that?
A few.
A few, okay, still a few, yeah. So that's the feedback that we still have a few that did not know about their local institute or their local MCF chapter. So the main goal is for that reason, actually, last year when initiated about this. So connecting to the goals and to the learning point, what is the best name for the session?
Well, are we wanting to keep the ISNS for both, like on the first one as a start?
I would
Yeah.
say yes.
This is the branding, ISNS.
Yes.
Creativity.
Booster session.
ISNS bootcamp.
Booster, not
ISNS bootcamp, ISNS booster, ISNS.
booster session.
Let's come up with our humor.
So why don't we leave this for later? Leave it for somebody to, let's play around with it, because Jason said he sent out some names. Why don't we just keep that and just play around and see?
Okay, so each one give one name for play around.
Because we might not be able to decide now. I think it's just
Yeah, there's a few suggestions there. I think you're right, Kabadi. We just can have a think about it. Come back to that one. When is the next presentation? When is your next presentation, Michael?
But I like the Marzuki's one. ISNS learning connection. We learn and we connect.
I think it sounds like we learn about connection. Maybe there is also other kinds of learnings. I feel it's a bit misdirected.
Yeah, the problem with the word learning is not one of those magical words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discovery
maybe
would be.
secrets.
Discovery.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Hidden wisdoms is quite nice, I think.
Well, let's put this on the table and we'll keep working on it.
How about the treasury word? ISNS treasury something. Like treasury, handbook, treasury, the manual we have in NSTT, I like the name treasury. I forget about it. ISNS treasury something.
Treasure hunt. Treasure hunt.
Treasury hunt.
ISNS Pirates of the Caribbean.
So going to the other points Marzuki was discussing, I do agree about like having a way to manage registration in a better way. So instead of having the gatekeepers, I prefer if we pre-register people. So I definitely agree with that idea. It will make things much easier, much more organized. And as Marzuki said, it will also give us the ability to follow up with people. So we can send them reminders, we can send them like follow up before and after the event. That way we'll have much more control. Yet to do that, we will go back to my initial idea since the very beginning to have a centralized way for registration. So right now, while people are registering at the local institute level, we don't have a centralized way to message these people and to manage the registration. So my recommendation here is to find a way to have a final, like centralized registration mailing list, so we can see the final number and we can message people and we can let them in automatically. We don't need to have the gatekeepers and do that on a local level. Personally, my main problem with that is I was not able to focus on most of the events. I had to go back and listen to the recording because during the event, I'm focused on letting people in and who's out and who's coming back and who's iPhone 6 and so on.
Okay, so I think I have misunderstanding about what my Marzuki wrote. Previously, I said, Marzuki, I totally agree with you for 4 points, but after you name it again, I like to clear my understanding. So the number 3, you mean that when you send the flyer, they all register to one email. So not through institute. It's all email.
So we give them a registration link.
Okay.
So they register at that link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I misunderstood about that. So when for these 2 events, they register directly to email, it means that they will not connect to their local institute.
I have a thought on this that could probably do both.
Okay.
Because oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, let me finish. So the first one, the goal is to connect with the local institute, interact, and they know. And the second one, I experienced about community gathering. I think this is the 3rd or the 4th one. So for the first 2 or the 3, we lost control. I mean, we announce it, there's community gathering, but you direct. And then we don't know, we did not know who register or who are not. And at the last one, I really put an eye on that, Tarek, because I intend to join, although I fell asleep at your session. But then I do announce it and ask them who will join, and we create one WhatsApp group. So what we did in our country, every time we have ISNS event, we open up a link. Whoever want to join, click this link. This link will come to another WhatsApp group, local. So only who will join come to this WhatsApp group. And then we send up the Zoom ID in only this WhatsApp group, but we can see how many person already inside. So that's how we can control. I mean, we know how many assigned, how many not. And then after the event, we discuss a bit about what we learned, and then we dismiss this group. And then for another month, we have another group, and that's how we create it. And for the last one, Tarek's community, we also did the same. But again, since we have no, I mean, they can directly have Zoom ID in the email, only 6 person register, and then we don't know because we really cannot control that. So it's empty. So for that reason, and regarding to the first goal is get connected with the institute, the local institute. I will suggest that we reconsider again about Marzuki. But I think that we still connect with the local institute, and only local institute can send Zoom ID And then we don't need the gatekeeper again, because of course, for those who already have the Zoom ID can join it. So we still connect to the local institute, but we don't need to have the gatekeeper. So that's what I understood. So I think, so that's my idea. Thank you.
Jason?
Please, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a solution or not, but my thought, one possibility would be that there's a centralized registration. For example, you have a Zoom registration where someone goes to Zoom and you can register directly in there with your name. And that way we have a centralized database. But to get that registration link, contact your local institute. So that way they have to connect to the local institute. You say, here's the link to register, but the link goes to the centralized database. So we have one big group with everybody there, but they still have to connect with the institute, and the institute knows who requested that link.
So in addition to what Jason's saying, if Michael puts, or Mohammed or whoever puts the email through the e-group, the message says to go to the institute, and then the institute sends them to the bigger group. So then you've got them all connected, and then we know how to do ClickFunnels.
So it means 2 times register, to the local one and then to the.
No.
Just one.
No, contact your local
simplify
to
it.
register, but it's a international link. So you will
Okay.
give them the internet. We all of the institute leaders will have the same link to register, but they have to contact your institute to receive that link. Would be my thought.
So Mariani, instead of you just giving them the link to attend the event, you give them the link to the registration page. Once they register, they get the link automatically, and they get the reminders, and they get the follow-up and everything. I would say that's a very organized way to do things.
Yeah, I like that.
It connects the full circle that way.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah,
if we
that
just
will
put the email and the Zoom link through the Medicoach e-group, it doesn't connect that local institutes.
Okay.
And so I know from our side that we really want to limit the administration. We feel very burdened by it. So something that really simplifies it, there's just one link, we can send it to our group, and then people register, and all of those are automated. That's where I vote for that simplification aspect.
And my recommendation, Kupati, for that, because I do have the same issue. We manage about like 350 students here in this region. So it's not easy to do that manually. But my recommendation would be is if you have all your students on your mailing list, then you can start sending your own emails, asking them to register. And you can also track who's clicking on the links. And based on who's clicking, you can enter that in your own database that they clicked on the registration link. It's not 100% accurate, but at least it will give you an idea about how many of your members clicked on the link to register.
Yeah.
That can be just a simple MailChimp, Mohammed, to get that data.
Yeah.
Just create a template, set it up.
Yeah.
Just put the new link every time it comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
My
it
point
seems
here
like
is
Mohammed has already
not
figured
managed
it out.
who is registering. So if they click on the link, you just have the status that they clicked on the link, but you don't know for sure if they registered. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say let's start with that, and we can always like upgrade things, and we can always have like automated registration, one-click automated registration, and things like that in the future. But let's get it started at that level.
So you mean one click directly to do one email, they will not connect it to the local one?
So in the future, the local institute like yours can send an email where when they click on the link, they are automatically registered. So this is the registration link. You just only need to click on that. And once they do that, they are registered in the main database. And also you as the local institute know that they are registered. So we have 2 registration lists.
Yeah. So Mohammed, this is something you've already started doing, so you can lead us on that, right? You've
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a
Yes.
matter of
It's easy.
Yeah. So that's done.
So do you think, Mohammed, that the local institute then needs to do a reminder?
The system will do the reminder.
Well, the thing we can do is the local institutes can send the reminders, and we can also set up that automatically to those who didn't click on the registration link.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they didn't click on the registration link, the local institute can send like 2 or 3 emails reminding them that we have this event coming up and you need to register. And if they register, then they are getting an email from the main mailing list that's going to everyone. The event is starting in 2 days, already registered. Make sure that you have that in your calendar. So we have 2 different messages. One to those who didn't register, we're reminding them to register, and those for who registered, and the centralized mailing list is sending that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think it's good, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking how to manage it in our country.
It's decided already, Mariani.
Yeah.
So the way it's gonna happen, Mohammed is gonna send us all the link to register. You will send it to your people, and then we can figure out in your system what's the best way to do with your team. It looks like we have it all done. And then for both sessions, for the Michael session and the other one, we use the same system.
Yeah.
So here, I don't know about in your country, but here we have 2 different policies. The first one for Michael session, we only those who in good standing can join. So people want to learn from Michael, and let's also refresh them about the renewal membership. But for the second one about the community gathering, everyone can join because it is for public. So by this change, we need to reorganize again. The first one is because we are here is only for good standing. By this way, then all people, whether they renewal or not, then they can join for the first one also. Because
I have a thought on that one.
Huh?
I think, Mariani, I think for some people, there's a lot of administration. And if you have a lot of administration, my thought would be you could just send it to your whole entire community and let them self-register. But if you don't mind the administration, Mariani, then I think you could just send an email without the link. I don't know if this makes sense. And just say, if you don't have to send them the link, you have them reach to you and you send the link individually to the people who, would that work, Mohammed?
So we will.
Another way, because in some institutes, and I think in Indonesia, they also have that, we have large members. So what I would say is, are you currently using like a mailing system like MailChimp, Keep, or any software to manage that? Because if you're doing that, what you can do is you can tag your members at the beginning of the year, those who are renewing their fees, you can tag them as, give them a tag, good standing. And at the time you want to send messages to those who are in good standing, you can only select that, and in like 10 seconds, it will only show you these members, and you can send them emails only to these people. At the end of the year, you're only doing the administration work one time. You're removing the tag, and those who are paying, you're applying the tag manually again. As soon as they pay, you're adding them to the paying list, so you can send them the exclusive material. Will that work for you, Mariani?
Yeah, I think if we vote already decided, then I'll go with you and see how we can organize it in our country. Yeah.
Perfect. So what I can do is I can create an online tutorial, video tutorial, showing you how to do that in different systems. To help the institutes, those who are not with a strong like IT background. So let me this week, I'll film like a short video showing you how to do that, and you can apply that in the institute if it's working well for you.
Okay, next.
So next, I would like to give a quick update about the NSTT.
Please. Yeah, I sent you a message on May 2025. You told me that you took the vaccine and that you were feeling a little bit sick.
Yeah,
and that you will send me the information once you were better. But it seems you still have the side
Basically, information is exactly like last year. The only difference is we're not 100% about the price, sure about the price yet. I'll confirm the price at the end of this month. I need to go and visit the hotel personally, so I need to travel to them. But basically, everything is exactly the same like last year, and the price will probably be like 10% difference, up or down. So you can use exactly the same information I sent you last year. It's the same hotel, same place, same everything. And Michael said send the dates. Although
Do you
I
have
think-
a flyer or a brochure
not
with
yet,
all that
not yet,
information?
not yet. That will be at the end of this month once we confirm. Michael, the dates you sent to the mailing list, I think it was from the 9th to the 26th of February. But I believe the correct dates is from the 12th to the 26th. So the 9th is our own meeting, leadership meeting, not the training itself. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, let me grab my calendar.
Sure. So tell Michael do that. The training will be from the 12th to the 26th. It will be in Sharm el-Sheikh. Accommodation will be
26th of what? October.
February 2022.
Oh, it's coming
So we'll
soon.
start on a Saturday night and end on a Saturday night.
Yeah. So it will be the 12th till the 26th.
Okay. Yeah, the preparation would be for
From the 9th.
us, the team, 9 through 11.
Exactly. So these are our own dates. The dates for the publics are from the 12th till the 26th. I already confirmed the dates with the hotel. So they booked the dates for us. But for the price, because they want to increase the price, I need to travel to them to negotiate harder to get better prices. Because basically they have been locked down for the last year. So they want to recover that and they want to increase the prices. So I need to go and visit them personally to get good prices, which I'm sure I will be able to do that, but I need to visit them.
When will you visit them, Mohammed?
At the end of this month. I have a
you.
training with them in 2 months from now. So I need to go there to check and pay deposits. And while I'm doing that, I'll also negotiate the prices.
Okay.
And how are things looking in terms of the COVID and the ending of that in Egypt?
It's confusing because things are almost back to normal. We just ended an APG training and we had like 30 people in the training room. Almost none of them were wearing masks. I think 1 or 2 are wearing masks, but we still see cases. So we still see cases around, but I don't expect any problems. And in Sharm el-Sheikh, where we're heading to do the training, cases are almost down to 0 because it's a touristic place. The government have taken a lot of actions to make sure that it's really controlled in this area. So workers, hotel workers, restaurant workers, they have priorities like doctors to take the vaccine. And I think in Sharm el-Sheikh, it's almost down to 0. So I don't expect any issues in terms of knocking down the training or things like that.
What about the air flight, the flights now?
Yeah, they are operating as normal. Yeah, so if you're coming from outside Egypt, you just need to bring a certificate that you're COVID-free. That's the only requirement. Other than that, you can come. We don't have any restrictions like certain countries or special things. You just need to get the certificate that you're COVID-free. And my expectation by that time, if you had the vaccine, you'll not even need to bring that certification. Yeah, so I'd say things are opening, they're not closing, and they are heading in that direction. So they'll keep losing the restrictions unless something major happens, which is not expected.
So it's going to be in the same venue, Mohammed?
Yeah, it's in the same venue, same hotel, same everything. And I actually do have an ECMC training there in 2 months because I do want to test things and see how it's going. I don't want the first event that I'll be doing there is going to be the NST. I want to test them first, see things, and get an idea about how they will be managing the event.
And how far is it from Cairo?
Well, by car, it's like 5 hours. By flight, it's under 1 hour.
Okay, could you send me the name of the airport of the place
Sure.
it's going to be held?
Sure. Actually, let me send it to you here, and I'll send you a message to the WhatsApp group also with that.
Yes, please. The name of the hotel and the name of the airport.
I think we all need this information so we can, now that we now have definite dates and what, so we can just send it out and let people know that we are coming back to business.
Exactly.
Even if it's not a designed brochure, just like information, simple.
Well, Marianne was kind enough to send me the brochure that she used the last time, and Michael also sent me some. So I'm using that to prepare the current brochure, which should be ready. It's almost ready. I'm just waiting to get the final prices from the hotel, which should be in 2 weeks maximum, hopefully 10 days. And once we do that, the brochure will be ready. Because I'm also working on payment plans. I'm trying to have like longer payment plans. So it's much easier for people to come, giving the short notice and what's happening and the COVID and everything going on.
Sharm el-Sheikh, is that the city or the airport, or what is it?
It's the city and airport.
The city and airport, okay.
Did I understand you correctly that you will put it on the WhatsApp group? Sorry?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else about NSTT?
Well, I would say the next thing, once we have the prices, is I would like to talk with the local leaders to see how we can promote that and how we can work together on bringing people to the training and make it a success training. Because I also want to have like a collaborative work in which we are doing that through local institutes and rewarding local institutes for doing that.
And Mohammed, for your assist team, etc., will do that offline, or you will actually send communication on that?
Once we're ready, we will do that, because we also need to be limited in terms of the number of students in the assist team. So I'll be checking that with Michael, and we'll be announcing that. Yes, once we finish the first part of the logistics, we'll be going to that part.
Generally, for the assist team, we have those who are master trainers or in the master trainer track. So then we'll put out a message on the trainers e-group, those who want to volunteer, and then it depends upon the number of students, and each of the master trainers will probably be teamed up to have a team of 6 people. That's usually what we have, 6 people in a practice group, presentation group. And so if we have 36 people, we would have 6 teams. We have 42 people, 7 teams.
Yeah, so I was thinking, Michael, and maybe you can discuss that, we can give priority to those who are referring their students. So if you're referring some people to the training, then we can guarantee a spot for you on the assist team, as long as you cover the other requirements. To motivate them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always asked the master trainers to be sure that they're bringing at least 1 or 2 people with them.
So I don't know if it's, so one of the things we've decided to do from the ISNS is to use our money, because we now have a lot of money. We now have money somehow because we have not had events and all of that. So we are doing, as part of the collaboration, some kind of a competition for people who are deserving to be sponsored to come to NSTT and other professional development events or activities or programs that are ISNS related. So, you know, that's why I'm kind of keen to hear the information, so we can also get our process started, because it's not very far. February 2022 is not far. It's quite close.
Yeah.
Mohammed, what will be like the pricing? I don't remember what you said last year.
Well, I have to check it. I don't have it in front of me now because the pricing included the accommodation. So I think it was like an extra $1,500 extra to the normal price to cover the hotel of the accommodation. And also because I have to check my spreadsheet because we had prices, different prices if you're paying in installments, how long you're paying that. And I think we had incentives if you're paying early. So let me check that and I'll be sending you that to the group. I did send it to the group last year, but just copy it again. It will be in the same range, assuming the hotel will stay in the same range.
5,000, 5,500, something like that. Just to have like a clue.
Okay, let me check while we're talking now. I'll go back to the message I sent you last year and I'll confirm that before we end our meeting today.
Okay.
So the link that Sean put up, that's the correct link to the
Yes.
correct hotel and everything. Because one of the things that seems to really help people make a picture in their mind about the possibility is when they can link and they can see pictures. They can see the hotel, see the ocean, then it becomes more real.
Exactly. That's true.
We've got some really good pictures on that site too. So
it's a very good hotel, and the training room is brilliant. The only point, make sure they don't register directly through the hotel. They need to register through our package because that includes the meals and everything, and it will be better price for them.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Tarek.
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks there to find a good hotel. I think I went like to 9 hotels to finally select this one.
You poor thing.
yeah,
It was very hard spending that much time enjoying the sea.
So I'm guessing the training room has the structure so that we can set up a lot of presentation areas.
Yes,
like we did at Bali and other places.
Yes, and we do have a breakout room, a big one that we can use for private things too, and for repeaters. So I did check that. I need to make sure that it's still the same because last time I went, it was over a year. So they might have structured things differently. And that's why I'm going again at the end of this month to confirm everything and book the place.
Okay.
And it had a lot of natural sunlight. That was very important for me. If we're spending like 12 hours a day, that's a must for me. The other hotels, they didn't have that. So some of them had bigger rooms, but they didn't have natural sunlight.
We're 8 months away from NSTT. So 8 months, it'll start moving pretty quickly. And especially in terms of getting people who are ready to go, who've got prac and master prac, and or meta coaches who want to become modular trainers.
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'll start sending out at least one thing every month, just to get the ball rolling in terms of orientation toward.
And I'll be sending other things too, because I do have things to advise people to join. So actually I do have 2 things. One of them is like pre-training sessions. So we be like doing things to get people excited and get an idea about what's going to happen. And also I'm planning to offer like a free business training about how to market your training business for those who are signing for the training. So if they sign up for the NSTT, they get that for free. and we'll be starting that actually soon. They don't need to finish the training, so they can start preparing for the training business before they finish NSTT. By the time they finish NSTT, they could have the first training ready. This is
So
actually
you're
how I did
doing-
my, yeah.
So you're doing that in Egypt.
It's going to be online, so it's going to be open for
Gonna be
everyone.
online.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One of the things we usually have a problem with is somebody decides that they want to come and they've got everything but APG. And we've let people come in. They're really at a disadvantage if they don't have an understanding of metastates. And oftentimes we try to say, here's a APG 2 weeks before in a CT, so that at least they can.
That happened in Brazil. Do you remember, Michael? We had like 15 people in the group and they were like blank.
My suggestion for that, Michael, is they can attend the APG online and then they can come to the end 2 days before the NSTT to do the practice, something like that. So they have done the training online, but they are doing the face-to-face part before the NSTT. So if they come like a few days before the training, then they could do that and they have everything they need to attend the training.
Do you know that if we've got people doing APG online?
Well, we are doing APG online. So right now what we're doing is we're doing a hybrid model. People can attend in our training center or they can attend online. Some of them choose to do both. So they come like 2 days and take 2 days off. But the things they're not doing, they have to come to the center to practice.
Okay, so you're doing it. Anybody else doing it?
I think
I
I'm
other.
doing it, but in Spanish.
Do you mean
Okay.
APG online? Yes,
Yes.
we're doing it 4 days online and 1 day offline after we can have the in-class training. Yes, I'm doing it. We are doing it. We have 5 trainers collaborate together for the online. And this is the second one.
How do you do demonstrations?
So we read the pattern, we demonstrate it, and then they still need 1 day to meet for the
But how
offline.
do you demonstrate any particular pattern?
Well, for us, Michael, what we do is we do it in the training center. So we have professional cameras, and I can send you a link for Hussam doing a pattern. It's in Arabic, of course, but you can see the structure. So he's
So
standing.
you're with you're with an actual person.
Yes.
And you're actually doing it.
Yes.
You're just
And they see
recording
the video.
doing it.
It's alive. We're doing it live. So they see that, and those who are in the training center, they do it live in the training center. Those who are online, they get into breakout rooms with one of the training assistants. They also do it online, and then they have to come to the training center to do it in front of us.
The person you're doing with, are you just walking through the steps, or are they actually experiencing that pattern for the first time?
No, they are a real participant experiencing it for the first time.
Okay.
So I can add to that. Karen, Willem, and Manuela have been doing it online, and they do a demo, and then in the breakout rooms there is a qualified meta coach who is an assist team member. So they've done it with a lot of assist team people. Those assist team members chose to come in because it's like a revisit for them. So they are experiencing. They don't just talk about it, it's experiential. And it's 4 days. It's longer than face-to-face.
Right now, we are doing it in 9 days.
And when you do 4 days, those of you doing 4 days, is it 8 hours? Is it 6 hours?
4 hours at a time. Because beyond that, the brain can't take. Already by
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah. So that's 16 hours.
Yeah. So we do only 4 hours a day, and then the rest the following days and all of that. So they've been scheduling it. I think it's 2 days a week for 4 hours, and then the following week until it's done.
We do it 5 hours a day for 9 days. I think Hussam is enjoying doing long ones.
Mm.
How's everybody doing with your institutes and collaboration? Getting people to collaborate and keeping some evidence of that, so that once we get close to probably September, we'll start asking tell us what you've been doing, so we can start making some judgment about that.
I almost said we can't say because it's a competition, right?
Somebody else will copy what you're doing.
There's a lead question.
Yeah, except just to say what we are doing, but to actually say
Okay.
what we are doing, maybe.
Okay.
That's a silly one. We're doing some stuff, Michael.
You're
and
doing
it's-
stuff. Good.
Well, probably our stuff is better than your stuff.
I think so. I actually think so. I actually think so, Mohammed. We're doing stuff nonetheless. Mm.
Just so that stuff is being done. That's the point. Well, Mexico had a MetaCoach
Okay.
Neurosemantic conference, so that occurred not too long ago.
Yeah, it was an international. That is the first time we did something like that. So yeah, it was pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, we are planning to have a conference in October.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So actually, we were going to have some Swedish, Norwegian presentations, and then we are also thinking about having some international presentations, and I'm actually in charge of that. So if somebody wants to come to have a presentation in our conference, you're invited. I will get back with more information about that later.
Yeah. And we are planning to have ours in September, right after our ECMC. So I think we'll have one every month.
Very good. We don't have anybody from Brazil today, or China today, or Philippines today.
Heroras emailed saying he couldn't come to this meeting today. He's put it on the WhatsApp group as well. He has to do some stuff, family work. So.
Is anyone doing module 1 online? Because I had a text from one of the meta coaches in the Philippines wanting to know, because currently no one's offering module 1 in the Philippines. So anybody doing module 1 online?
I've just done coaching essentials 2 weeks ago, and I had two in the room, and I had one online. It was a revisit online, but I'm not doing it now. But it seemed to work okay, as long as they can interact.
Anyone who has something scheduled for coaching essentials in the coming months? Just so
we'll let you know, Geraldine. I
Okay.
do have plans, but I just will send you dates. I'll check with Karen and then.
I'm also
Okay.
planning to launch in July, towards the end of July. I'm planning to launch the diploma program, so that involves module 1 APG and also unleashing leadership.
Alright, so if you can send me information so I can forward it to those people who are asking in the Philippines. Thank
Will that
you.
be in English?
Yes, it
Oh,
will
yeah.
be in English.
Do you speak English?
A bit.
Well, I think that's probably about it for us today. Geraldine and I, we're still locked down here. We took a little trip down to Cortez Wednesday, and we went to the Ute Mountain, Tribal Mountain, and looked at Indian ruins from the 1100s and walked around there. I got a lot of poison ivy and brought that home with me. And, but it was good to get out of the little town. Hadn't been out of this town 16 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We did a road trip. We went through scenic routes, exploring the different cities going there. So that's good, different environment, at least. Michael, every day he says, oh, it's Groundhog's Day again.
Around 500. How's everybody else doing? Health-wise or staying sane?
Trying.
South Africa is into a third wave.
Okay.
Apparently much more vicious, and we are not allowed, but I guess we're not allowed in most countries except Africa. So I imagine Egypt will be fine. South Africans don't, you know, other countries outside of Africa do not accept South African citizens. Or, yeah.
And
So,
how's the vaccinations going?
The vaccinations very slow. We started off with AstraZeneca, then it was found out that it was not, it was only 20% effective, then that was stopped. Wow. Then Johnson & Johnson, we've had a few people, high profile people die of COVID after they have taken Johnson & Johnson. So it looks like there's doubt on that one as well, but also it was put on hold because of the contamination that happened in the US at the plant. Yeah, so the vaccination is not going as fast as it ought to be, but it's happening. Yeah. So hopefully we'll turn the corner. We're remaining hopeful. One of us, I don't know whether some of you might know Dan, he's not very active. He's in ICU as we speak. Dan Elapad, Michael, you might know him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in ICU with COVID. So quite sending him prayers, yeah. So otherwise we continue to protect and stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico, many people don't want to have the vaccine. So it's weird because, you know, the government is making a huge effort to vaccinate everybody, but many people they don't want because they have heard that they will die in 1 year or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of superstition going around about the vaccine.
Yeah. So it seems it's going to be slowly coming back to normal. My guess is it's going to last at least 1 more year. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's what I can see.
What kind of percentage in Mexico have been vaccinated?
Well, that's the problem because the government gives us a number, but it's not true. So they say that we have 40% already vaccinated, but that's not true. That's what they will like to. But the reality is that we have 16 or 17% of the population already with the vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Pretty low, yeah.
Similarly, here in Malaysia, I estimate the people who have been vaccinated to be between 10 to 15%. The rollout is slow. Yeah. And for many of us to receive notification to be vaccinated, whatever vaccine it is, just go and get it.
Just go. Any vaccine is better than nothing.
Yeah.
The best vaccine is the one that's available.
Exactly.
I had my AZ vaccine about 2 weeks ago, so waiting for the second dose.
Okay.
I have already both from Pfizer.
That's good.
Yeah.
How's your hand doing, David?
Oh, much better. Much. I went back to the carpentry, so I'm doing little by little coming back. Yeah.
No,
I just love it.
no rest for the wicked.
No.
Well, be careful.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Much better. Yeah.
Ariane, you are waving your hand.
I just want to remind about how about my proposal in the email.
Which one is that?
I sent an email about proposal about two things. The first one is I propose that the ISNS online can be taken on each institute. So
I
the
agree.
organizer, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's a good
And the
proposal.
second one maybe will be longer, but we can decide on the first one first. So can we take turn on as the organizer of the ISNS online, whatever the name?
But you're very good
agree?
doing that, Mariani. Why don't you keep it?
I think it's now to take turn, and I will share with you the template what will we do unless the registration, so you can take part of it. Yeah. So agree? Who agree with that? Come on, please raise your hand. Okay, Tarek, thank you. Come on.
I agree with David. I think David's on the
Come
money.
on, John. Henrik, you will do this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Peer pressure.
Well, about the COVID-19 situation here in Sweden, we have I think actually I believe that we have about half the population vaccinated here. So I think it's about that, and we have a really warm summer here. It's like really nice, and that has also made I think the infection rate slowing down. So we have not a high infection rate now. It's looking quite good, and the restrictions we still have. We're only allowed to meet 4 people together, but restaurants and most things are open. So it's actually quite lively here. The restaurants are open until 10, 11 something in the evening, and they say that they will even make less restrictions by the end of July or something, or that we will open up so that we can be things places can be open until like 2 in the night or something like that. Yeah, so seems like it's going in the right direction. Hopefully.
What's happening in Europe?
I can only talk for Belgium because every country is different. We are still much closed. We can travel and only in European countries. If we are vaccinated, or we can prove that we did a test, or we had COVID and we recovered from it. But it's really still really, there are not so many cases anymore, but they are starting to talk about the variants that will come from the UK. Because in the UK, there's another wave going on. And so they say, well, it will come. Just wait and see a couple of weeks and it will come. So they don't really open up. We can go to a cafe now for a couple of hours, restaurants also a little bit, but they warn us there will be another wave. So it's not very good. Although we
Come to Egypt.
Sorry?
Come to Egypt so you can escape from it.
Yeah. And we have 56% of people vaccinated.
Oh,
That's a lot.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. And even the youngsters, the children, 16 to 18, 6,500 asked to be vaccinated. They just asked for it. So it's going very rapidly.
Jermaine, is that in which country is that, or is that in all of Europe?
My
or what?
country, Germany, Belgium, Belgium.
Oh, that's in Belgium. Okay.
I can't speak for the other countries. Everything is different.
Yeah.
In Europe, each country is making its own
Yeah.
rules. Yeah, just like in America, isn't it, Michael? It's very different in the different states. Yeah.
So in Indonesia, our COVID is increased extremely. 3 days ago, we have 150% the COVID, the patient of COVID, and now we are coming to, I don't know, the third wave or the fourth wave, but absolutely it is because after the Ramadan and people from our capital go into the country, so all not already spread out in Indonesia, so we will come to extreme lockdown in a few days. And we have vaccine for 60 above already with Sinovac from China. And then now the second one is vaccine with AstraZeneca, and lots of people hesitate to take that AstraZeneca. So it's already for 50 above, but not, it's only a few, I mean, maybe 10% want to join. And now they open up for 18 above with AstraZeneca just to use the vaccine. And then we are waiting for the Pfizer. So that's what happened in Indonesia, and we are ready for the next extreme lockdown. I said extreme because it's really all red zone, even in Jakarta. So I have already prepared food for 1 month, stay home and do the online. Yeah, that's how Indonesia now.
It's still in Belgium, we cannot do face-to-face. You can't do it. If you don't want to do coaching face-to-face, it's no way. You can't do it. You need to do it on Zoom.
In Australia, it's contrast to that. It's as if it doesn't exist. There's a few people in Melbourne, so they locked Melbourne down recently again, but they're opening, I think, in a couple of days, as in everything's back to normal. There's a couple of people in Sydney or Bondi, and they're hoping that gets contained, so then the school holidays don't have it spread. But to be honest, where I am, it's as if honestly it doesn't exist. It's just people are more hygienically conscious about washing their hands. Not too many people wear masks, so it's just not here. It's amazing that it's so contrastive.
Yeah, it's the same here in Florida. There's no restrictions really. I had to put on a mask to go into the post office the other day, and even that felt strange. You know, everyone was, but anywhere else, everything is open. Restaurants, cafes, trainings are reopening, and so like it never happened.
And move there.
Come on over. You're welcome anytime. I have a couch.
How many people are allowed to be together in US, Florida?
As many as can fit in the room.
Okay, well.
What's that?
You don't have any restrictions, but like in Sweden, we can be only, well, of course, it can be many people in the room, but we can be only 4 together around the table.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that here.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, it's good to see everybody. And
No, not yet. We have not decided yet about my proposal, the first one. Who will be the
Next
host
meeting.
or the
In our next meeting.
I thought we decided on you.
Yeah.
Who votes Mariani? Who votes Mariani?
Let's decide to take turn on each institute so we can see your variety or your creativity rather than use the same one every 2 months. How about that? And you also can take part of it. Come on.
You do a great job, Mariani.
Thank you. And I like to share with you so you can show your great work also. Thank you very much.
We love you, Mariani. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We
thank
love,
you very much.
we love you, Mariani.
So will
The
you be
final
the next
decision
host?
is that you keep doing it.
Will you be
Don't
the
you know,
next host?
don't you know the rule? Once you volunteer, it's for life.
Then forget the second proposal, okay? Forget the second proposal. I will not propose any yet. So
What
who
will be
will
what will be the topic for Michael's topic? Is that already-
I will handle it to the next organizer to ask to Michael about the topic. So who will be the next organizer?
Mariani.
Thank you. This is the last month. Mariani already the last month and the last 2 months and the last 2 months. Anyone from what country? I mean,
We could volunteer Omar and Aldum. And
Yeah, just send them an email that you have been volunteered.
Waras.
so Michael, why don't you write a letter to them that they will be in charge as the organizer for the next month?
Yeah. Thank you for being volunteered.
Seriously, who will take charge of it on the next month? It's 1 month ahead. We need to start now. I mean, for me, I don't know if you're the organizer.
Have we decided on the title that it's
Not
gonna
yet. So
Did we
whoever
say
the
what your
organizer,
metaphors?
so whoever the organizer will ask Michael about that. So that's a part of the job.
Okay, Marianne, let's say I will support you in the next one, okay? Then we can move off of this. I'll be your support. I'm not taking over, I'll support you in doing it. Okay.
Come on.
And then together we can decide, we can figure out how to get other people to take it.
Yes, and the next time I will support you, Mariani.
Thank you for your support.
I'm sending emotional support right now.
Here for you, Marianne.
Well, here it comes.
I will support you every time.
I'm hungry, guys.
Okay, Michael. So what will be the next topic?
Metaphor.
Geraldine suggested that we continue with the subject of learning. There's a lot more to say about learning than what we covered the first time.
So I hear Bati say about the metaphor. So what learning and metaphor? You want to start? If you want to use the learning, then we need to have another advanced learning or continued or what?
Yeah, I can.
Second part.
I can focus in on it on a lot more detail and send that out.
Okay, so Bati, do you have?
Yeah, I mean the first lady wants learning. So.
I gave that comment to Michael because although we got a lot from the first part, I mean the first time he shared it with us, based on what he has written, there's like really just so much more. We're just barely scratching the surface. So that's why I said, you know, is there going to be a part 2 of that? Yeah, I mean, since I don't know, people, it's still in the printers, you know, we don't have the book yet. So I was just wondering, unless there are other topics that, you know, that's more relevant now that you'd like for Michael to talk about, or to present.
The
Okay,
new book is metaphor.
I can book Michael the next one after this one, metaphors. I'm quite keen. I know you have a book on metaphors, and I had meant to order it, but I never got to doing it. Yeah, and how to use them much more elegantly in training and coaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah. Or is it possible to combine with learning? I mean, how to learn using metaphors or something? Or one thing I'm curious about with the metaphor, because there's lots of metaphors we're not aware of. So I want to learn how to be able to identify the metaphors.
Whole subject in itself.
Okay.
and storytelling? Storytelling? Storytelling?
Storytelling.
Would that work with metaphor and storytelling, the difference between the two?
You're talking about two really very, very different
Different.
dimensions.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Me, I was thinking, yeah, maybe we can have the metaphor now since the book is already out. And then when in a couple of months, the learning will come, and then we can go back to that learning topic. We can have the metaphor.
She always tells me what to do, so I just say.
I'm just giving suggestions.
And you accept, and you accept. You must.
She has
accept.
dictations, I have compliance.
No, of course not.
Don't forget.
You're a very nice couple.
Not true. I'm very
This week,
compliant.
her personal development task is to stop pointing. 'Cause she's always pointing. Well, that's what you said you're going to quit. She made a resolution that she's going to quit pointing because she's always pointing to me.
That's why I just do like that. I have that habit of like, I mean, growing up with the nuns, in a religious school, and we were like always like with that. And he keeps on teasing me, and so anyways, it's like I've never experienced before, and it's like it's Colorado. I don't know. And
She's my mother nun.
no.
Okay, so for Bati, it seems that the topic already decided that we're learning, and then we will wait for Michael's description. And will you write to the e-group, because the last time Jason helped me to write an email, or you want to coordinate with Jason to write your English is good. I think you can write down. For Bati, are you behind?
I'm here. I will help you write the email.
Okay, so I handle to you the template and what to do, the list, and we can coordinate.
You're
together.
gonna be a team. You're not handing over anything, but I'm gonna do the work with you. I
Okay.
promise.
Okay, see. So the first work is ask from Michael about the topic. Is
I will
done.
discuss it offline. Me and you can set up a thing where we discuss how do you do this, and then we can get the process going.
Okay,
I can support as well. I created a procedure the way we did it last time, so I can share the document with you too. So just keep me in the loop.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Yeah, Jason already have the procedure. And whoever we have already the ground rules, the frame are already, whoever the host have ever been received by me about the ground rules, the frame, and it's all already written down. It's just like a guidance book. You just go through and have your own creativity to modify it.
Okay.
If you want to. Don't
Okay.
look at me silently. Come
When
on.
will be our next meeting?
The second week of July.
Do you mean the online session or our leadership meeting?
Leadership.
That will be on the 31st of July.
31st of July. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we've been at it for an hour and a half. Longer than we expected. Good to see everybody, and hope everybody stays healthy and wealthy and wise till we meet again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank
Keep
you very
well.
much.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Nice to see
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.